How much do Facebook ads cost? It's a really good question. A lot of business owners really are doing searches for these types of questions online. So I'm here to just give you a little bit of information and insight into not only how much Facebook ads cost, but how you are charged when you run Facebook ads. So basically Facebook ads bills on a CPM basis, meaning a cost per 1,000 impressions. This means that for every 1,000 Facebook users that your ads are shown to, Facebook will charge you a certain amount of money. That can range based on a number of different factors, which I'm going to demonstrate for you today. But another thing that definitely affects the CPMs for your campaign is how effective your ads are in getting engagement from Facebook users. So the more popular your ads are, the more successful they are, the more Facebook users engage with your ads, the cheaper your CPMs will be. Facebook will actually reward you for having better ads. But we'll go just quickly to different types of audiences that you can target and how that also affects your CPMs. So the first one here is a broad audience. This is where you're targeting a lot of people. It might be just all men or all women in a certain country, or all people over a certain age bracket or under a certain age bracket. This kind of audience typically can have millions of people in it. And because you're telling Facebook that they can show your ads to a wider range of people, you're actually going to get a much cheaper CPM. It's going to be down at around about $15 per 1,000 impressions. That will vary again based on how successful your ad is. So with a broad audience, you do get low CPMs, low cost per 1,000 impressions of maybe around about $15. You're going to get a low conversion rate though, because your audience is not as highly targeted. It means that your ads are not going to be displayed to people who are more likely to purchase your products. However, over time, Facebook will do some machine learning, and their programs will display your ads to the right people over time. So broad audiences can actually be very successful over a longer period of time. You also are going to get a higher amount of traffic. Because your ads are being shown to so many people at a lower cost, you're going to get more clicks and more traffic to your website as a result of this type of audience targeting. Then you've got your targeted audience. So this might be people with certain behaviors or interests that you've actually selected in the Facebook Ads Manager. So you've got demographics, behaviors, interests, locations. There's a lot inside the Facebook's audience targeting tool. But my suggestion to you is not to get too fancy with this and drill down too much and have too high a targeted audience, because as a result, Facebook will charge you much higher CPMs. CPMs for targeted audiences can go at around about $30 or even higher, up to $50 or $60. So you're paying a lot more for your ads to be shown to the same amount of people. So you need to make sure that the audience that you're targeting is accurate and going to actually provide you with a higher conversion rate. So generally from targeted audiences, if it's done correctly, you will get a higher conversion rate from that targeted audience, but you will also get lower traffic. Because you're paying more per 1,000 impressions, it means you're going to get less clicks on your ads for every dollar that you spend from that campaign. Then finally, you've got your retargeted audience. This is probably the most powerful component to any Facebook marketing campaign that you can run. If someone shows any interest in your ad, whether it's a video ad, an image ad, or any type of ad on Facebook, you can tag that user and follow them around everywhere they go, not only on Facebook, but also through Facebook's audience network, which is a number of social media blogs, online videos, in-stream ads, and Facebook Messenger, among others. So retargeting is extremely powerful, and despite the fact that you do have to pay a much higher cost per 1,000 impressions, because this is the smallest audience that you can target, it's only going to be potentially 1,000, 5,000 or 10,000 people, but they are the most qualified people. So that means that Facebook will charge you a much higher CPM, up to $50, maybe even more per 1,000 impressions. But from this audience, you will get, even though you're paying a high CPM, you're going to get also the highest conversion rate, because these are businesses that have come to know your brand or your product, and they're building trust. You're building trust with them over time. And often on Facebook, it's not the first time someone sees an ad that they take much notice of it. It's usually the second, third or fourth ad, or even over a really long period of time. They might have seen your ad 10 or 20 times, that they then eventually become convinced to try out your product or your service. So Also from this audience, you're going to get the lowest traffic, but by far the highest converting traffic. Businesses in Australia today are spending between $1,000 to $10,000 on average on Facebook ads. So it's definitely a very, very powerful marketing medium. And here at Australian Internet Advertising, we've seen some huge success stories for businesses scaling their sales for e-commerce or getting a lot of leads for people inquiring about their services. So it is a very powerful platform. It's important to be informed about the costs when you're going in, because it's not like, a $5 a day or a $10 a day kind of a booster post kind of $10 budget thing that's going to really work for your business and bring in a lot of sales. If you give it a concerted effort and a decent budget, campaigns on Facebook can work very, very well for you.